Wow, 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 what an interesting start to the summer. Both personally and legally, let's just say. So I was getting my advanced scuba diving certification in the St. Lawrence River, which is, half a kilometer I'm looking at New York State. When I come back, they actually tore down all their gun laws and they're doing concealed carry sometime soon, which is about goddamn time. Maybe my presence there, I like to think that it had an impact on this, because for someone to say that you don't have the right to defend yourself against a violent attacker, they're basically claiming your body as a slave. The gun control agenda is really gaining traction around the world. Many different strategies are being used. In Canada, it's just repetition from the day that you're born, basically. They teach you that it's the gun that's the problem, and most Canadian, even adult Canadians, are like infants in their psychology, and they don't even believe that they have this right, and they do. Like, what society? It's such a backward society. They have all these rights that they don't know they have, and then they don't have all these rights that they do think they have. Everything seems to be backwards, but it was really nice seeing the New York laws come down, because what's that saying? Like, New York goes the country? That actually might be California goes the country, but let's see if state by state they keep making progress like this. I know in Indiana they just passed a open carry law, so complete constitutional carry. This should be like this around the world. An armed society is a polite society. One of the strategies that's being used in the US to whittle away the gun control rights, beyond just indoctrination through the school system, is they're trying to make self-defense a political issue. They're doing a great job, but it's not going to work. I think there still are too many sane, well-thinking Americans to let this get a hold of them. Even people on the left are not going to give up all their guns, because deep down, they know how important it is to defend themselves against a tyrannical government, and just, of course, on the street. The Second Amendment is very, very clear when it says you have the right to keep and bear arms. You can't misinterpret that in any way, like so many states seem to have done. Imagine all the crime, the fake crime that took place in New York because of that ridiculous law. There's probably like thousands of New Yorkers in prison because they just followed what the actual Constitution said, yet the criminal bodies calling themselves the New York State government just went in there and just said, oh, actually, we don't understand the Constitution. We make our own fucking rules here. And yeah, so hopefully those people all get released from jail, all the innocent ones. And this really travels worldwide. I really think the United States Supreme Court has a lot of sway worldwide. It should, because when they do something that is right and good and moral, this really should send shockwaves around the world. Like, wow, there actually is justice in the world somewhat through this, ridiculous legal system. I think it's probably better to just ignore the legal system altogether, because there's no such thing as authority, and we can't keep believing in these illusions. But I also understand that almost nobody is going to be able to understand natural law and understand what anarchy means. Anarchy just means governing yourself. And can most people do that right now? No. So in steps in the someone to fill the void, which is, all these state actors. In Canada, we have someone who says that you don't have the right to self-defense. And this guy travels with armed guards who all understand the self-defense principle. They're basically coming out and mocking us, and we're just too stupid to say anything about it, right? And most men are so pussy whipped, they can't even talk about this stuff, even if they know exactly what they're doing, because their wives would get mad at them. And they'd probably fucking lose their jobs too, because Canada is so different than the United States. The United States, Americans, at least a large percentage of them, at least believe in freedom, even though that they're so far away from it. I call it the United Communist States of America, because that just seems to be what it is. Like, the FDA and the FTC do basically nothing except for destroy small business and protect the food and the drug monopolies who promote false advertising and shit like that. And this really seeps down into all areas of society. I just passed a sign that said, $1 coffee. But if you ever stop in and do that, there's a small sign at the bottom saying, you know, you with purchase of this. And you'll talk to these people, and they're so brainwashed through their schooling system. They'll just be like, yeah, well, it's totally normal to deceive our customers. As long as we fucking get what we want, then it's fine. Like, that's what they learned in their advertising school. It's really amazing how fucking stupid people who went to university are. Like, college and university graduates, half of them belong in fucking prison, especially these doctors and scientists who have been going along with this COVID fraud. If you think the PCR test is a legitimate way, you would have to be a complete fucktard to believe that COVID is real and worthy of such a response. I'm serious. Half of these doctors and scientists literally belong in a place where they can't hurt people anymore, because these drugs that they're pushing kill hundreds of thousands of people a year. We would think that is genocide if that took place overseas in Mexico, but since it's big business, it's protected by the bureaucracy, and we just go along to get along, right? And no one says anything about this. Same things that happen in the US happen in Canada. I don't know why Canadians can't see the connections. Like, this is fucking bullshit. And you know, where are the people, even just your regular everyday guy? Like, you should be furious. Another big thing you see with all these people in the cities and the suburbs are like, they literally think that there are no mandates anymore. They're like, what are these people protesting? You could protest any one of 1,000 things under the sun. You could protest fluoride in the water. Yeah, they're putting poison in your children's drinking water. So go out and protest something. Like, you have the right to protest. I don't think protesting really does much. True moral education is really the way, but if we could combine that with a legal knowledge, so we could actually, you know what our rights really are in Canada and the United States, and the difference between the legal person and the real person, and take control of the person so we can operate in commerce in a much better way, I think we would be much better off. I just don't have faith that many people are going to learn about natural law, because, first of all, they don't read. If they do read, they're reading Ken Follett or some garbage like that. I'm going to order Diplomacy by Deception today by Dr. John Coleman. He was actually, MI5, MI6. I've really been wanting to get that book. I used to buy one with every paycheck I got, and I'm going to continue doing that. So I think a lot of these hardcover books are going to be banned in the coming future. So get as many as you can. Like, telling the truth is actually going to become a crime. That's how tyrannical things are getting, because people just don't care about themselves anymore. They have no self-respect. They will wear 10 masks, line up for the next free whatever they can get at the pharmacy, right? So we have a lot of work to do. We're nowhere near where we need to be. Unfortunately, trust in media has never been higher. There's still this whole rhetoric in alternative media that people are ditching the regular news. It's not true at all. If people just read books, we would be a lot better off, but they don't. So look at the growth of alternative media. It's been fucking pathetic. BitChute is actually losing money on their fundraiser. I started, when I joined BitChute, it was at, I think it was almost at 70%, and now it's at 58%. So they're actually losing money, and people think that the regular media are losing traction. Nonsense. You've got to start sharing these videos. These are not just for your consumption. We got to get this message out far and wide, or else things are just going to continue to deteriorate, because, the truth is spoken into existence and the lie is just being shouted out through radio, through TV, through advertising, most of which is false. And we have these, we set up these bureaucracies to take care of the fucking false and misleading information. Like, oh yeah, Pfizer's 95% effective. And a couple months later, it's, actually, we were wrong about that. It's, 0.08% effective. And, we used a bunch of fraudulent techniques. So, yeah, thanks guys. It's really a shame that people don't know about this stuff. But again, don't let it get you down, many people are just not capable of learning a new idea. So, and they're not really care. They don't really care about the truth. Like, I have a great time. I try and go to as many group events as possible. And I don't really talk about this stuff at all. We just try and, like, you know, do our things and have a good time. But at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be sticking up for what I'm going to be sticking up for. And that's not going to change. So you don't have to worry about me, like, selling out or anything. Like, I don't get donations. And I know I should probably open up the comments and have a little more integration. But I'm like an addict when it comes to that little, like, red blinking thing at the top. I would like hit refresh all day or something. So I actually go a step further and offer people to come on a podcast or something. Like, I go on Vegan Realist's channel live sometimes. He's on DLive. I set up a DLive channel. Maybe I'll be doing some live streams this summer because I feel like that's kind of the way. People really like that medium. And I think I have a lot to offer when it comes to live streams. So that's just today's video. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit like down below. There are some great things happening in the world, and don't ever let this stuff get you down. But, you know, we got a lot of preparing to do, so let's get on it. Peace out.